Okay, so I'm back to work here on the Civic Rambler swap, affectionately called Rhonda. There is something that's been bugging me that I need to do some deep measuring on. So as I mentioned before, here where the A-pillars are and the firewall, the distance up here is wider by quite a bit, I think 9 inches, than the Rambler. The distance down here at the bottom is narrower by like 6 inches because, you know, where the Honda is pretty well straight up and down, the Rambler comes off at an angle. You absolutely cannot do anything. You can't cut it over here because you need all this strength here. It needs to all be tied together. You know, in fact, it should be tied together up here too, but we're not going to get into that. I could probably take a hammer and maybe knock some of this down a little up top here, you know, flatten it out to there, but I can't cut any more off of it. But I think I need to go do some measuring really quick. I think the A-pillar on the Rambler is here, so I need to check. Okay, so I think the fender's sitting too low. It rubs when you turn the wheel, so I don't know what we're gonna do, but I think that the position is gonna be okay. So here's your edge of the fender here. You're 51 inches, so this is the basically the edge of the dashboard, essentially, as far as width goes. And so this pillar here, where the fender bolts onto, that I was worried about, the A-pillar, is going to be here. The forward edge of the pillar, it's not perfectly flat, it actually bevels inward, but it's right here. So it's gonna miss everything. You know, this is the edge of the fender, this is the edge of the A-pillar, and so, you know, down here we'll have to do something maybe, but up here it's gonna clear everything, it looks like. Except maybe here we might have to do something maybe in this area, but even if we do, it's not anything I'm not going to be chopping into the Honda part, so it'll be fine. We're going to be good. I just have to figure out the height, like how high the body's going to sit, because one, I mean, I like the lowered look, but you know, if the tires are rubbing, I absolutely do not want to have to chop the fender well up and widen it or do anything stupid like that. I mean, you can see the fender's not quite adjusted where it needs to be. Looks like it could probably come out an inch or so, but an inch isn't going to buy me enough. This needs to come up quite a little bit. It'll probably, at the very least, sit up like that, which will, let's see, I'll have to move this block. So I'm gonna have to trim this lower valance to make it clear in order to get it pushed back, which means I'll have to do it on the white car as well. Or maybe not. I mean, there's so much damage to this one that, you know, who knows. But I think this is roughly where it needs to sit height-wise. If I come back here and pick this up, put it where I think it's going to go, that would give us the clearance. But I don't know, it doesn't look as cool, but that's all right. You know, we're not trying to make it look cool, we're trying to make it work cool. And who knows, maybe that'll give us the clearance up here we need for that wiper motor. Okay, so I got this just kind of screwed in place. I think this is where it's going to sit height-wise. It looks really high, but the Civic had a lot of gap between the inner fender and the fender anyway. Yeah, I like the lower look better, but that's not horrible. Okay, so on this, I was worried about the wiper motor sitting right here. And it looks to me like it's going to sit there. So all this will be in front of it, like the extreme edge of it will be sitting there. So it'll be kind of weird because that was really on the outside of the car. I'll have to run the hoses in like that. I don't know. We'll see. But it might not be a deal breaker, the end of the world, the whatever. We'll see. It's not over yet. So if this is going to be the back edge of the fender, safe to assume this is the front edge of the cowl, which is going to put us there. Yeah. I mean, it'll be under the hood, but there. So if the front edge of the cowl is going to come to roughly here, that'll be the back edge of the cowl. I don't know. It might still end up being there. Anyhow, I got it kind of just screwed into place so it gives me an idea of where we're going with it. Gonna have to do something on the bottom there, that lower valance. I don't know if it's gonna have to be cut or if I can somehow stretch it. I definitely can't chop that out of the front of that car. It has to be there for the strength, plus the radiator sits down in the bottom of it. I mean, if it's gonna sit up this high though, that radiator's sitting way down low. Interesting. Could probably come up with some filler panels there. To notch that a little bit right there in that corner. So that looks about the only way that's not gonna rub. And it probably will still rub on a bump. I don't know. There's not really much I can do. I can't go, skinnier tire. I mean, those are 185s. And offset of the wheel, you can't really go much, if any, thinner there. I don't know. I don't want to flare the fenders. All right. So, I went ahead and got these cut out, trimmed this up a little bit more. I mean, there might be more there to trim. I don't know. I don't want to cut too much out of it, though, because it's kind of helping to hold the car together. Got all that trimmed. Got the gas door off. Turns out it was just glued on. And this stuff, I mean, it came off really easily, but it seems really strong. I mean, I could clean up this stuff here, but I gotta wait until I start doing the swap. Got this clean. Got that. I think the lower edge of these fenders is gonna actually stick out further, but that's not important right now. So, I believe that's about it for the Honda. I need to get started on the Rambler tomorrow. Unfortunately, I don't think I have enough steel to do the bracing. I could do some more measuring though. And that's it. So, that's it. I'm going in. Calling it a night. All right. So we're pretty much caught up on the Honda as far as all the trimming goes. Oh God, my back is completely and totally screwed right now. I decided it'd be time to get started pulling the front clip off of this car. It's coming apart pretty easily, actually. A couple bolts are pretty bad. I just tightened them up until they snapped off, because sometimes that's just the easier way to go. And they're just standard, 1/4 inch coarse thread, grade 3 or grade 5 bolts, nothing special. So I need to get in here and get these 3, and I only have to loosen them because they're actually slotted. And then the front clip should be able to come off. When Luke gets home, we'll lift it off of there. I don't think I'm going to pull the doors. I don't think I need to. This one definitely needs to be adjusted, though. Does it need to come up or down? Needs to go down, and as you can see, the striker needs to be brought up. There's the door is fairly well adjusted. You see that little gap right there. I'm not sure why that's there, because here it lines up just fine. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. My ADD is all powerful. Yeah. So that grill's in excellent shape. That'll probably be for sale if somebody needs a 62 grill. Again, they will interchange. You can put them on any of the 61, 62, 63. It's correct for 62, but it'll fit a 61 or a 63 as well. And then, of course, you have to pull the bumper brackets off to get the bumper out of the valance, because there's a thing in between the two halves of it. But it'll come off in the clip. Anyway, onto those 3 bolts, 6 bolts. And then we'll see. And then the hood, I'll probably buzz it off up here. I don't know if the hinges are going to go, but we'll see. Okay, got the front end off. I'll tell you what, the hardest part of this entire job wasn't rusty bolts, wasn't getting up in there, wasn't dealing with my really fucked up back right now. It was this. I don't know if this is like a double-sided tape. I think that's probably what it was. Regardless, trying to get that off and get to all these bolts while the door was on there. On the green car, I took the doors off and made it a lot easier. So the next step, I don't think I need to worry about. Yeah. The next step, I need to cross brace there. I've got some square tubing over there. Cross brace there, cross brace up here at the A pillar, cross brace there at the B pillar. And then I'm going to cut this out along there, cut it out along there. You can see that one of the reasons why these cars are so prone to rust is, all the mud would just sit up here. Rot them out. I need to get these hinges off and get them out of the way. Ooh, inky way. Uh-oh. Look at that. That is not good. In fact, that's very bad. But, that. And this doesn't look that bad. But this isn't just a stain. If I hit that with a hammer, it would poke a big old hole in it. There's another piece of plate behind it. Oh, yeah. I picked up a little friend. Little bitty baby jumping spider. There's a lot of them out here. This, pretty bad. It may look bad just on the outside, but you can guarantee that that frame rail is super thin in there, if it doesn't already have a hole in it. So That's gonna be a hole, see? And then all this right there. Yep. Yep. The entire section there. So yeah, if I would have put this thing back on the road, it probably would have started coming apart on me. So yeah, I feel even better about doing what I'm doing. And none of y'all can be really giving me any crap about, you know, ruining a good Rambler with a Honda chassis, because all the patchwork I'd have to do to fix this, I mean, all these little bitty rust spots you see, those are all holes. Allow me to demonstrate. See? See how thin all that is. Yep. Okay, so it's my birthday. I'm going in. I'll be back out tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow's cross brace action, and then start making my first cuts. Like I started to say before I got sidetracked. Yay, ADD. I'm gonna cut this right along here and try to keep this bottom piece. Instead of cutting it up here, I'm gonna cut it down there, and then I'll trim it if I have to, but all the way down over there. And then we'll cut it up along here, probably. And then we'll cut in here. We'll cut right below that. So I'll take this out and just cut it. And good news on that. So if we're going from the back edge of the hood to here where the wiper motor is, wiper motor is going to sit right here in the middle of this. So you're looking at 2 inches. So eyeballing this, you got about 1 inch, about 2 inches. That's going to bring it right to the forward edge of this pipe. So realistically, I should be able to actually weld it to this pipe. I probably shouldn't weld it to this pipe. I should probably weld a plate to this pipe and then weld a plate to that and then bolt it together, because this pipe has to come out if I'm ever going to pull the AC unit out to get a heater core in it, I think. But yeah, so that's going to put the wiper motor here. It's basically going to put the box here right on the very edge, and I think it's just going to clear. Plus, these fenders, I want to bring them back about 1 inch. So that'll give me another inch, and I think we'll be okay. All right. So last night, I just went ahead and put the white car's hood on here just to kind of see how it would sit. Of course, it's going to sit up higher than that by a couple inches, probably, or 1 inch. That fender actually needs to come back farther. These fenders aren't permanent. The rear section of the body is going to be permanent, and frankly, I want to make it as far back as possible, but we'll see. I mean, obviously, I can't come too far back, but yeah, that's quite a bit of clearance there. That's at least, I need 7 inches. And so we're sitting right on 7 inches right there. And, again, it's going to come up. So, yep. Okay, so now I need to go next door. I need to go get the white car, bring it over here, put it in the driveway, and get it cross-braced. I'm going to go ahead and pull the doors off. I didn't really want to, but I'm very nervous about whether or not the roof can support the weight of the body to pick it up. I don't have a lift to pick it up by the rockers. So, the lighter it is, the better. Plus, if the door's off, it'll be easier to work on, especially in here, because this is so narrow. But, yeah, it's going to get started. I have to go to work tomorrow, so I may not get started cutting, but at least I'll have it ready to go. So, I'm going to go get started. This is a plenum. I'm guessing it's a defroster dealio. You pull the defroster control cable and it pulls this flap and either directs the air to the floor or to the defroster. I was thinking it all might. I mean, it won't work, but it'd be kind of cool if it would for the Honda. Alrighty, get the car over here. Got my cross braces in. Had a few issues with the good welder. Ran out of wire in the flux core like immediately when I started doing it. I didn't plan on using the flux core to do any kind of welding in this, just to put those in though. I wasn't too worried about it. Started making my cuts. Got them right here, just forward of that seam. And down there, of course, is going to need a lot of patchwork. I think I'm just going to take the skin out and try to use as much of the framework. This thing basically has a frame in it, more than a typical unibody, but if it's not too bad. Try to tie that to the Honda inner rocker and then plate the top of it, or maybe get some 3x3 3/16 and just somehow connect it to the inner rocker, That might be the best way to go. But I got that cut made. I started making this cut. It's made to there. This, I need to get inside there and cut the bracket that the pedals hang off of. And then I can cut the inside part. The outside I went ahead and cut. And then cut to that corner. I need to get these hinges off. And I want to cut them off right below the bolts. Just to make sure. And then I need to cut this. I need to take this tag off because it's got to stay with the car. I got that. That was the first cut I made. So that's about it, really. Pretty good days worth of work. I did some measuring, some looking back in here. See, I like this one-piece kind of bowl. It's completely sealed off from the outside, other than the weather stripping. The Honda frame rail is, crap, I can't remember the measurement now, but it's roughly here, I think. I want to say it's probably about right there, because I measured that cut piece, and it's cut off right behind this. So at this point right here, this is about where the Honda frame rail is, but the Honda's frame rails are straight, where they kick out at an angle. So you got 41 inches, I think, and then you got 45 here. This is probably going to have to come out to drill the spot welds. Well, this floor isn't going to stay, although it's going to probably, I'm going to cut it off straight, because I think that's about where the Honda trunk ends. I gotta fix that little dent there, because I don't know how much it's affecting the trunk lid. Yeah, a lot of work. So I need to go over, pick up all my crap over there, shut the garage down, call it done. So yeah, that's going to conclude this week's work. Get back on it next week.